On this episode of Hudson Valley Hustle, I'm joined by Leo Gecaj, who owns JG Auto Care. It's a mobile car detailing business. This kid's 19 years old and is crushing it. I had to have him on the show. Love his story, love his background. Anybody young that is looking to start a business needs to watch this episode. This kid's killing it. Hope you enjoy. One of the most addicting videos to watch are those car detailing videos where like they really get in there, like the camera's really close up. You see the scrubbing, you see they got this piece of crap, like filthy car. And like they take everything out. Like they take the seats out, they take literally everything out and they just scrub it down. And it's the most satisfying thing to watch.
That's what it is. And when I saw it on my Instagram Reels, I'm like, there's some way, like you have a lot of detailers who grow just from that. And that's the biggest thing is marketing on social media. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to see how it goes. I bought a mic, $20. Why not? Did my first video and it got 7,000 views. I was like, all right, I'm going to go ahead. Did another one, same thing. And I was like, oh, let me just go ahead and do it. And it was spontaneous. My buddy was like, let's do it. I'm going to record. I was like, no. Like, we'll just record the car. He's like, just talk in front of the camera, describe what you did and see how to do it. Yeah. It's not going to hurt.
No, you've got a complete like open range of opportunity right now to be posting stuff, to test things out, see what works, see what doesn't, things that people like, things that people don't like. Yeah. And it's free.
Exactly.
It's free. You don't have to put any money behind it.
It doesn't hurt. That's what I tell people. Like when I have a lot of kids, so I do these like classes, like mentorship classes with a lot of young detailers around whatever, New York State, some of Pennsylvania. And I'll just tell them like, get in front of the camera. Like it's not gonna hurt, it's not free. You invest, it was $22 on Amazon to get 2 little mics and it sets up on your phone, you plug it in and you just roll, cinematic, whatever you wanna do. Yep. Generate some captions like we talked about and you just go from there and see how it does. If it doesn't do good, then try something else.
Yeah, absolutely. So how old are you?
19.
So you're 19,
yeah.
You have a mobile car detailing business, you've done over 500 customers so far.
Correct.
And you have people working for you. How does a 19-year-old get started on that?
It's pretty, I like to keep it really simple, which is not, but I try to break it down. So when I was 16, I was in high school, I was playing basketball full time and I was obviously a student. And like we talked about, my dad passed away a year before then. And it was a kind of urgent, like, let me make some money. Right. And my mom was like, get a job. My uncles they own restaurants. We own a restaurant too. We sold it. So I was like, I don't want to work for anyone. I want to make as much money as I can. I'm young. So like my dad was always a hustler. So he instilled that in me. Why not just go on with it? One night I'm on TikTok and it's like I was searching side hustles all night long. I was like, how to make extra money, how to make quick money. And I saw it on TikTok and it was a starter kit for mobile detailing on Amazon. It's $500 for everything. Vacuum, pressure washer, everything. I was like, Mom, let me just get $500. She's like, you're crazy. What do you need $500 for? I was like, trust me, like, let me get the money and I'm gonna buy my stuff. It's not for me, it's for the equipment. I'm gonna buy it, I'm gonna see how it goes. Bought the stuff, I didn't know what to do. For a week, I was like, I don't know like how to get clients, where to go, what to do. So I had a little Jetta that I was driving at that time when I first got my license and I just put everything in my Jetta. I asked my cousin, I was like, can I detail your car? She was like, yeah, let's do it. So she paid me. I was like, I don't want, I just want to practice. So then did a couple family cars, about 10 of them, got my first actual client. We did 3 cars and I made $700 in that day. And I was like, wow, like this is what I meant to, like, and this is 3 months after I bought my equipment. So I was kind of standstill for about a month and a half, did that and I got the check and I was like, this is what I want to do. Like, this is it. And I always liked cars. My dad sold cars for over 15 years. That's where the JG Auto originally comes from. And his first name was Josh. Gotcha. So and my last name is Gecaj. So I put those together, JG Auto, and just added the care to the end because I wanted to kind of keep it original and kind of carry that name on. So I did that, got the check, and I was like, wow, this is what I'm going to do. I went around door knocking. I started door knocking. I was out of my little Jetta. And right away, like we mentioned the Instagram Reels, I saw a bunch of Instagram Reels for TikTok, like detailers, mobile detailers. They did it. They went ahead, and I was like, all right, let me do it. That summer, I was still really busy with basketball. So I'm like trying to balance kind of everything. And it was just like a time management type of thing. I feel like, especially when you're young, you got to manage your time. Obviously, it's tempting to go here, to go party, to go do this, to go do that. But I feel like in the end, there's a bigger picture to everything. And after my dad passed away, I valued life a lot more because especially with the loved ones. And I was just trying to balance everything. I'd schedule out my whole week basketball training, from hanging out to friends, everything, waking up, everything, eating food. I had a diet. I was on a diet plan and everything. It was very like serious. So then went ahead, and that summer I probably did like 80 cars, and I was like, okay, like I'm making good money. I get to do kind of what I want. I could still have my fun and still play basketball. It's kind of balancing everything. And then I committed for basketball when I was 18, and I was just playing basketball, and I was like, this isn't, and that's when like it was really picking, like I was losing my mind trying to balance everything, and the time management could only do so much for you. And I realized, I was like, Mom, I think I'm gonna go for it. I bought my van, I had my van, and I was like, you know what, let me just go ahead and keep doing it and keep posting on social media and see where it goes. And it's brought me to, you know, where I am at today.
That's crazy, man.
And I feel like that's like the biggest thing, as you said, how do you start it up, is you just gotta want it. Like, it sounds really simple, but it's like, that's the truth. You have to want it, whether it's door knocking, whether it's trying to come up with new ideas for posts.
Well, you wanted it, but you also did the action, right?
Yeah.
So everybody wants it.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real.
That's
everybody wants it. Who doesn't want to do their own thing, call their shots? Everybody wants it. Who's willing to actually do it?
Yeah.
You're doing it. You actually did it. And you had to choose between something that was passionate of yours and this other thing that you were equally as passionate about.
Correct.
So you did it. So I wouldn't just say like, you know, you just got to want it, because that's like 10% of it.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So give yourself more credit than that, for sure.
And it's like you said, you got to take action for it. And it's like, I tell my friends, and I always like, they'll be like, they'll make jokes and we'll laugh about it, because I've been able to, you know, achieve and get certain things and go certain places with that, from that detailing. And I bought a car a couple months ago. It was a little Audi. I bought it, and they were like, oh, this is all from the like making jokes. And I was like, man, it's not as easy as you think. Just because I post what I want you guys to see, I don't post me up at 1 a.m, 2 a.m, trying to figure out what my schedule looks like or trying to get posts out. It's a lot more than just what social media portrays. And I feel like that's a big thing in today's business world, is social media puts something out which is not the actual truth. Mm-hmm. And that's what I feel like sets apart certain people, like successful people and people that are really stand still for a little bit. You got to be real with everyone. It's not just what you want people to see. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's another big thing. And yeah, I'm young, and I tell people, like, age doesn't matter, right? You can walk, you can work, you're old enough to understand things. And I'm not saying I understand things, but as I go on and keep going to my entrepreneurship, I feel like understanding is a big aspect of it. And it's the detailing. I tell people it's an 80-20. Detailing is 20% of it. That's the easy job. Detailing is, now it's, my muscles are used to just detailing all day. So I feel like that the rest of it is really like your mental health, and trying to, you gotta keep yourself focused and keep things going. And especially as a teenager, I will admit myself, it is hard not to go out every weekend, or not to go here, or not. I don't drink or smoke, and I feel like that's a big thing as well. I don't see a point.
Have those distractions.
Yeah, I don't see a point, and I see how, because a lot of my family, they drink this, and I see how it affects in the long run. So I will never let anything distract me or wait. And for example, you go buy drinks or something, you're wasting your money, right? You can put money back into the business, you can invest your money back into. That's how I look, and I tell people, they're like, you're crazy. I'm like, trust me, people have called me crazy for the past 3 years, and I'm fine with it.
Yep.
And I'm fine. That's how it goes.
That's a common theme in entrepreneurship, especially young people, where it's like, dude, now is actually the time for you to do this.
Exactly.
Not to go do all that other shit that your friends are doing. Mm-hmm. Your friends are jealous.
Yeah.
That's why they're telling you you're crazy. Yeah. You realize that, right? Because you're making way more money than them in a summer, right? While they're up, screwing around doing their thing, which is fine if that's what you want to do. Again, like, by no means, not everybody has to go and work their ass off at 19 years old to go grind it, but that's what you wanted to do. It's not crazy.
Exactly.
Everybody will tell you that you're crazy.
Everyone.
And like you said, they all will think, must be nice. Must be nice to be able to buy a car. Must be nice to be able to go out on vacations and go places, because he's got the money to do that. It's, but you don't, like you said, you don't see what happens behind the curtain.
More than half of it. And whether it's trying to save money or whether it's equipment breaking, it happens all the time.
Yep.
I've had, on job sites, I've had my generators break, my pressure washers break. And they're not cheap, right? You cheap out, it's going to happen again. So it's like, and I don't go tell my friends, hey, look, this broke on me, I just got to pay. That's not what I do. That's not what I'm here for, right? We'll make jokes, we'll laugh about it. But like you said, obviously that jealousy will kick in. And it's like when people just tell me I'm crazy or this is not going to happen. For example, coming on this podcast, everyone was like, no, they're not going to respond to you. You're How do you know? You gotta go after it. You never know where they're at and what they want to hear, you gotta do it. You just gotta do it. Whether from the little things to the big things, you have to do it. And that's really important, I feel like, for young entrepreneurs, is wanting to do it, right? Rather than saying you're gonna do it. A lot of people could say, I've had plenty of people say, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. A year goes by, nothing, or 2 years goes by. If you fail, try something else. If it doesn't work, keep going. There's no shame in anything. And I failed plenty of times in my detailing. For the past 3 years, I failed plenty of times. And I look at it as a learning experience rather than, I'm just going to go and I'll just start something else. I'll just go get a
Let it beat you down and end it. Yeah.
No point. Especially, like you said, everyone has their own different path in life. And I feel like people will tell me, like, you didn't choose this for you. And it's like, yeah, I didn't, but at the same time I did, because this is what I want to do, and why not do it? I will never get bored of detailing a car and making the money that I can never complain for that, right? Whether it's working the long hours, whether it's working outside in 100-degree weather. Like yesterday, for example,
brutal,
96 degrees, hot as can be. Can't get any hotter than that. And it's like, I want to do it, right? When you have a passion for something, go after it. That's the biggest thing. What you like to do will never get boring. That I feel like, at least for me, it will never get boring. Yeah, it'll get hard. Obviously, it'll get hard. If it was easy, like they say, everyone would be doing it, but they're not. And I feel like that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think no, dude, you're on a solid path. There are grown men and women who would kill to be in your position right now. That's the reality of it. So don't let anybody tell you that you're crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, use it as fuel. I always loved that. I always loved when somebody told me I was nuts, because I was like, okay, that's cool. If crazy means me being happy and doing what I get to do every day, I'm insane.
So be it.
Then I'm insane. Call me insane. I'm into it. So how do you? You had said that when you first started out. I don't want to forget this. You washed, whose car was it? Was
my cousin's car.
All right, so you washed your cousin's car. You did it for free. You started washing families' cars. Yep. So you actually did one of the things that a lot of people early in entrepreneurship don't want to do, and that's do the work for free, to learn, to get experience, to build the portfolio, to show examples to other customers. People think, I'm going to start a business, you're going to pay me right now.
Yeah.
Who are you compared to anybody else who's doing the same thing? You have to show me what you can do.
Exactly.
And learn how to do it before you can even charge me to do it. How bold of you to say, no, I'm an entrepreneur. You have to pay me. It's very humble and difficult to say, I'm going to do this for free so I can learn and it's going to benefit me later.
Exactly. And it's like, for that first year, like you mentioned, it's not about making the money. And as much as I thought it was, it's not. And I learned the hard way. Everything that I was making would either go back into my business, or like I said, equipment would break or whatever it is. It's not, you gotta, any service business that you start up, you're not gonna make money right away. It's just not gonna happen. That's not how it works, especially around, like, it just doesn't add up. It's not gonna work. As much as people want it to work, and I realized that because a lot of my family own businesses and they've been in this business world for a while. So it's like, they said, do my car, get some photos, get some, like you said, a little bit of portfolio built up. And I did that. And as much as I, obviously wanted to make the money, I saw in the long run that it's going to build me. And to this day, if I want to do some content or something, I'll tell my cousins, they have some nice cars. So I'll be like, let's go shoot some content. We'll do it. Yeah, I'm not making money, but I'm doing some content, and maybe it'll get me those three people with you have a BMW, maybe someone has the same BMW. They see me doing your car, they could trust me with their car.
Yep.
Right. And that's what it is. I feel like people get really greedy in the beginning when they make a little bit of money as a business owner, and that's what's going to slow you down. Big time. Big time. There's nothing more that's going to slow you down than being greedy with your money and trying to everyone's goal is to make money. Mm-hmm. That's a given, right? But you gotta learn how to make certain sacrifices and do certain things without getting paid for it, right?
You have to delay that gratification, right? Because what you delay right now will come back to you tenfold later on. If you can make that sacrifice now, if you can sacrifice the time, the money, being able to go out and have fun sometimes.
Yeah.
Sacrificing that now, you'll be able to do all of that stuff and more down the line
later. And there's plenty of, you choose your life, right? There's plenty of life. You don't put bad things in your body. You want to be around, you could be around. You choose your life. I tell people you can choose your life. Like, it's not, nobody's telling you what to, they may tell you what to do, but who are they to tell you what to do? You listen to yourself. And it's like, you can't listen to someone with a smaller business. You can't, it's certain things that you just got to put in one ear and out the other. With anything, and that's anything in life. When certain people tell you certain things, like you mentioned before, it is jealousy. And now I've been able to, especially in a service business, read people a lot better than I was when I was 16 or 17 or even 18. I'm able to read people now, and it's something that I'm really thankful for, is trying to learn and read people and what people's intentions are. And sometimes they're not the purest. It sucks to say, but they're not the purest.
No, not at all. And you're in a good spot, man. I'm happy for you for sure. So how are you getting customers now? Like, what's working for you to get those mobile detailing customers, to be able to get you to the point where you had over 500 customers at this point?
So for me, it was social media. Instagram was the biggest one. When I first started up, I joined a lot of Facebook groups, and I just said what I did. So put up my prices, told them how old I am, I started this. I just told them a little bit of my story. And that was last summer I did that. I don't do it as much this summer, just because I kind of built that clientele up to the point where I don't really, not need to, but I just kind of have other marketing things, which I'm about to tell you. And I did that, and it was word of mouth from that, because a lot of parents would want to get all their cars done at once, kind of get it done at once. And for this summer, as far as that goes, I have direct mail orders to over 40,000 homes in the Hudson Valley. I just sent those. This is my first summer doing that, so we're going to see how it goes. I mean, it got sent out last week. I already have 6 people booked in for next week, pretty booked out now, especially summertime is the best time for mobile detailing. And it's just Facebook, Instagram, Google. Google is a big thing. Getting your reviews up for any service business that you're in is the biggest thing. People need to learn to trust you, right? No matter if you're 16, no matter if you're 40, they don't care. They need to learn how to trust you and show that you can do not only good work, but trusted work, right? And that was my biggest thing, was getting a lot of reviews up on Google. We're rated 5 stars on Google. So whenever you search up mobile detailing, it's the highest one up there. So that's what I'm kind of, thankful for, and having really loyal customers be able to provide me good results and good reviews. And that's the biggest thing, is being trusted and presence on social media. That's what, and people are surprised. They're like, you just get them from Instagram. And I'm like, yeah, it just pops on someone's for real page, whatever it is, DM me, and we talk from there. And yeah, the classic word of mouth and door knocking. And I did that a lot in the beginning. And for the last maybe year and a half, I kind of stayed away from it, right? Just because I've been a lot more cars to do and more social media presence. So I've kind of stayed away from it. But classic door-to-door knocking really works for mobile detailing. If any young kids want to get out there, do it. I feel like that works for any service business, whether it's pressure washing, cleaning windows. I've seen that's a good side hustle on TikTok. I've seen those a lot. Yeah. Go door knocking. Learn how to talk to people. If you don't know, learn the hard way. There's only one way to learn, and that's to do it.
You got to learn how to get rejected.
Exactly.
If you want to be in business, you got to learn how to get rejected.
Exactly.
And I feel like a lot of people, we're getting soft, dude. We're getting soft. Nobody wants to be told no. No, everybody wants to protect their, their self-esteem and all that. No. The only way to grow is to get uncomfortable.
Correct.
It's the only way. And nothing is more uncomfortable than walking up to a stranger and being like, hey, I do this. Would you like to buy it? And they're like, get out of my face.
Yep. That's happened plenty of times. Plenty of times. I've done over 500 cars, but I also got rejected over 300-400 times.
Yeah. The people only see the things that you did. They didn't see the things that you had to go through to get to that.
Oh my God. Last minute cancellations or people not taking me seriously in the beginning because I was super young. It happens. How do you think I feel when somebody's like, oh, they laugh in my face essentially? Doesn't feel good, obviously, but it makes you a little more hungrier. And that's the biggest thing, like we mentioned, failures. You gotta fail. You have to. There's no way you're gonna go in any business and go 100% all the way and keep making money. It doesn't work. I'll have weeks where maybe 1 or 2 weeks it's raining out. The whole week in the beginning of the year it was raining out the whole week. What do? I can't sit there and beat myself up. On to the next, right? You gotta kind of arrange yourself. Like I said, time management is the biggest thing, and rejection is good. Rejection is good. No matter how many people say it's not, rejection is good. The only way to learn how to get rejected is go up go knock on doors. What's the worst that's going to happen? People tell you no. Okay, move on to the next house or move on wherever it is that you want to move on. Do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Every no is closer to a yes.
Exactly. For every three or four no's, as long as you get one yes, you'll be okay.
Keeps you coming back.
Yeah, man. 4 to 1, you'll be fine.
Yeah, you're 100%. That's great, man. So like, what do you tell people that are your age, like your peer group, that are like, yeah, man, I want to go do my own thing. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to go do this. What do you have to say to them now, knowing what you know a little bit more in the game?
First, I'll laugh. And it's not a bad laugh. It's like a laugh that telling them like you don't know what you're getting yourself into. I've had this happen actually a lot. Like a lot of my friends see what I'm doing and you know, I'll hang around with a smaller group of friends. I like to keep my circle pretty small and I try to help them. I'm like, dude, just get up. Break it down for them. Get up, make some shirts, make an Instagram, make a logo, go door knocking. Make a couple flyers, make a couple business cards, do your families first and go from there. I tell them for the first year, I always tell, you're not gonna make money. Like you'll make money, that'll go right back into your business. And it's like, I try to help them, but I tell them I can only help you so much to the point where like, you're gonna have to do it on your own essentially. And they tried it, right? A few of them tried it and they've seen it's a lot harder than what I make it look like. And I try to tell them, you know, it's not like I said, it's not what it seems like at all. It's a lot harder. I'll try and break it down, but man, you gotta want it. And when you're in it just for the money, you're not gonna get. I tell them, don't worry about making money. Don't worry about these nice cars. You're not gonna have a nice car for the first 2 or 3 years, maybe even 4 years. You never know. You're not gonna have that. And if you're not ready to admit that to yourself and kind of accept that, then you're not gonna get anywhere in any service business, whether it's the restaurant business, even because that's what my family does. We do restaurants, real estate. You won't get anywhere. Point blank. Period. There's not really much to it. You got to break down everything and keep it super simple to yourself. For the fact that you break it down, you keep it simple. You go after whatever that is that you're breaking down. Yeah. And it's not what it seems. I literally. It's funny you said that. I'll literally sit there and I'll just like put a smirk and they'll ask me, why are you smirking? I'm like, dude.
Because you have no idea.
You don't know. Like you don't know. Sure. And it's like, all right, then help me under. I'm like,
yeah.
I can only help you so much. And yeah, it's really.
So it sounds like you have a family of business owners, entrepreneurs,
correct.
That kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So did that help you, not necessarily get started, but kind of like have it in you?
Correct. Yeah. So it was the 3 brothers, my dad, and it was 2 other brothers that were here. We all had kind of shared it. It was 3 restaurants, okay. Pleasant Ridge. They still have one left in Polkwig. We had one by Maris, Polkwig, and Beacon. So my dad had the one in Beacon, and he had the car lot too as well. And we, sold that one, and he got Trent's Pizzerias named after me. My full name is Le Trem, but people don't know me as, they just know me as Leo. I try to keep it, like I said, keep it really simple. And he had that, and he flipped homes in real estate, and his nose was kind of in everything.
Gotcha.
And my great uncle owns a wine company up in, it's from back home from Kosovo. It's where that's where it's from. Nice. That's where the winery is. But they're all over Westchester County and everywhere. Dutchess County.
It's in your blood, man.
Yeah. And I tell people I have no, if I mess up, if I fail, that's it. There's no way I can mess up, whether it's from real estate, service business, even if I get into the restaurant business, which I never will, whatever it is, there's no way I can mess up. They own over 1,000, 2,000 units of real estate up in the Bronx. So they're very successful, and I try to take a lot from them day by day, whether it's grabbing a coffee with them, whether it's detailing their car. They got a nice few cars, and I'll go over there, detail them, and I'm glad that they support me and they tell me straight up. They don't sugarcoat anything. They tell me what it is, and they're very supportive. And I feel like I've had that in me, the hustle, since I was like a little kid, working in the restaurant, little dishwasher, 12, 13 years old. There all day at the restaurant because my parents would work, and I'd be there all day long. I'd be right after school. I'd be there till 10, 11 o'clock, go home and do homework, do the same thing the next day. And I feel like that's kind of what made me who I am today, most definitely. And seeing a lot of hardship and struggles throughout. It's not easy. Restaurant business isn't easy, and trying to balance a few restaurant businesses, car business, real estate, 3 different things. It's not easy. And I've seen it firsthand. So that's kind of what instilled me and drive me to what I do today.
That's great, man. I'm sure having that support in your family is huge, because a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs don't have that, right? A lot of them get the reaction that a lot of your friends gave you was like, "You're insane. What are you doing?" And it's really important to have that. So again, you're born with it. I think you're born. I think it can be taught, but I think it's also kind of how you're hardwired. Yeah,
exactly. It's like when you take your first steps, from the age that you take your first steps to all, for example, for me, from the age I took my first steps all the way up until now, all it was business, working all day, 12, 14 hours a day. I've seen it all around. We all lived together in one house for about 8 years, up until I was 8 years old. Then we moved out. So it was my dad and his two brothers, and my uncle has 7 kids. The other one has 2 kids, and it was about 30, 35 people in a one house. And that's what I've kind of seen, the hardship and the struggles, go through it. And I've kind of been able to, like I said, I'm super thankful to kind of get everything back and kind of instill that in me and drive me rather than take me down, because it can take you down, especially at a young age. You see it all day. You don't want to be in the pizzeria all day. You don't want, like, it's not whatever people tell you. Yeah, it's good. You don't want to be there.
No, I know that's a really tough business, but I think also too, you seeing that also made you aware of how hard you actually do have to work to get what you want.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. And you see all this stuff on Instagram and all these nice cars, and I've seen it firsthand. I'm like, this is what has to be done to acquire those things. Whether, like I said, it was my great uncle. He came here, he was 17. He was a busboy. He's about 70 something right now. He's been here for over 50 years. Started up as a busboy, saved up money. He had nobody here. His father also passed away when he was young. Had nothing. Saved up, invested his money. Started up the winery a few years later, and he just went for it. And that's the biggest thing he always tells me. And whenever I go see him, I'll be like, you're a legend. Whether it's back home, like he a lot of people know him now, and he's brought like a little attention to his name and our last name. And I just see what he's done and the things that I've heard that he's had to do in order to live. He lives up in Armonk. Okay. So he, whether it's a Maybach or he's driving, and I see it, and it's like, I know everything that happened behind the scenes, or whether I was told or I seen it firsthand. It takes a lot. And that's the biggest thing, is doing those extra hours, right? I don't work. My schedule is never set. After this, I'll have to go do about 3 cars today. It's never set. Whether I'm working at 8 in the morning, whether I'm working at 2 in the afternoon, it's never set. And that's the biggest thing, is kind of, like I said, time management is the biggest key in anything. For any service business. You got to know yourself. Your mental health is also a very important aspect that people don't talk about ever.
Sure.
Your mental health is the biggest thing, and whether it's calming yourself down or kind of getting your stuff together mentally, or needing some time to relax, needing some time off. Everyone needs some time off. That's a given. Nobody's a robot. We're not robots. We're not, can't go all day, all week, all year. It doesn't work like that. And I feel like that's never talked about in any business, is the mental health aspect of it. And I've seen a lot, like I said, I've seen a lot of it, and people drive themselves crazy, or they're just not happy with whatever it is. And I feel like that's also a big topic and big aspect in anything.
Yeah, if you're not right up here putting all that on yourself and running a business and managing people and managing customers, all that, if you're not right up here, dude, it's impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible. If you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else.
Exactly. And that's the biggest thing. That was for me when obviously in an Albanian household, I'm the only son. So it's like 15 years old, everything was brought upon me. You're the man of the house. I've been told over 100 times, I'm the man of the house. You got to do this. You got to do that. And that for me was like,
it's a lot of pressure for a kid,
it's
man.
It's a lot. And sometimes you don't even know. I'd be stuck sometimes. Like, I'd literally be stuck. I tell my mom, like, I don't know whether to cry or whether, I don't know what it is, but I'm just stuck. And she'd tell me, as the days go by, you'll figure it out. And don't worry, obviously we're here. But it's like, that's what you want to hear, right? We're here for you and all that. But deep down inside, you know that it's like there's a lot of pressure being built up on you. And that's what also helped me. It's like, now I don't see pressure, because ever since that happened, there's no pressure bigger than that. So I feel like as I move forward in the service business, I don't feel any pressure. I just,
everything's easy compared to that.
Exactly. And that, I feel like that's a big thing that I took out of that. I'm grateful to take that way rather than any other way. So
that's good, man. No, like I said, I love your story. If somebody wants to get their car detailed, though, so we're going to wrap it up, but like, how can they get in touch with you? How do they book a detailing?
JG Auto Care _ on Instagram, or phone number 845-546-3536.
Where do you service, just geographically?
Dutchess County, Putnam County, Westchester County, Orange County. We're all over the place.
Nice.
Whatever you need. I try to, be as mobile, like it's in the name. I try to be as mobile as I can. So we go all over the place and get the job done for sure.
Cool, man. Good for you. So yeah, you said you were going to do it. You're doing it. You're crushing it.
Yep.
And I wish you the best of luck, man.
Thank you, brother.
You've got a really bright future ahead of you.
Appreciate
it looks like,
that.
man.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
No problem. Thank you for having me.